Gamera Rebirth is a 2023 6-episode CG miniseries from Kadokawa, Studio Engi, and Netflix. Some gals are found in a cave, baby gals even. They're kinda cute, and their beams cut off arms. We then go to 3 childhood friends who find a turtle that is trapped in some roots. Despite 2 of them deciding that trying to save the turtle is too risky, the other one decides to jump in and save it. He himself has to get saved, but they do free the turtle as well. Eventually, some bigger gals start attacking the city, eating people whole now, slicing up jets. Gamera shows up, defeats the gals, gets attacked by the military, and then flies away. Throughout the series, more monsters pop up around the group of kids, and Gamera shows up to protect them. I'm a fan of how they brought back these Showa monsters. I mean, the Godzilla franchise has been dipping back into its Showa monsters and roars for a while now, so it makes sense from that Showa kaiju nostalgia standpoint. I'm very glad that some of the monsters were given design updates to mirror those of some of the Heisei monsters. And there is also dialogue that gives nods to Gamera the Brave and the Gamera 4 comic. I'm indifferent on the Gauss design, though should note it's given a Zetus-like projectile tongue. Gamera looks good, using fireballs, no flamethrower breath here. He has some other powers returning too that I won't spoil. Jagger looks fine. I'm not sure how I would want a Zigra in this art style to look, but here he looks almost just like an aquatic Gauss. He's given a kinetic energy missile and a super long tail. Giron is pretty different. His mouth opens up like, I'm not sure of the terminology, but like a Demogorgon from Stranger Things, like his bottom jaw splits open and then spreads out. I guess kind of like Shin Godzilla 2. That's not the big change. The big change is his movement, which is very odd, but I like it. Virus looks better than ever, given some visual cues from Legion. Also, new offensive and defensive powers. I love the end credit rendition of the Gamera song. The final monster versus the military is pretty cool. It's hard to give props to the few story beats that I liked without really spoiling the novelty of seeing it. But I like when the humans help Gamera in the last episode. And I do like the different backstory for the kaiju and the inclusion of Aurelium and its effects on the monsters. Some virus stuff too. The Monster of the Week format doesn't work great here. I mean, we get a bunch of monsters, which is good, but they don't really get their time to shine. Nothing gets time to shine. Characters are fine, but not as good as characters in shows that the Monster of the Week format really works. The last 3 episodes have more of a streamlined, connected plot and some sci-fi, but sadly also deals with some characters just acting completely different than they have the rest of the show. The finale does pull some shoestring character development together in a feel-good triumphant moment. And I do want to applaud the usage of minor characters as pivotal to the big victory. And the ending, sappy and good. Human and monster-wise, they really pulled all that lackluster character stuff into something good in the end. I mean, I'm impressed by it. The cool, calm, collective agent guy becomes super scared and annoying during the Zigra episode, like, he's freaking out and complaining, which is okay, but it's so constant throughout this episode, and it's so annoying. I'll take a Kenny Dub Kid from the Showa era over this guy any day. At least it's funny when they go, Gamera! All the movement looks jerky, probably just a low frame rate. I don't get it. I keep complaining about this in these CG animes. Is this a stylistic choice made by all of the companies, or is there just certain people working for the companies that do these? I'm also not a fan of the Play-Doh looking hair. In fact, I hate it. And everyone's faces basically look the same also. Like they have different eyes, hair color, and accessories, but you could swap one person's eye shape, nose, mouth, with another and you probably wouldn't even notice. Again, par for the course for CG kaiju anime, but that doesn't make it not a problem. Sometimes they look like a character straight out of Pacific Rim the Black or Ultraman Netflix show. The exceptions to these face swap possibilities are foreigners. I guess to further bring home that they are different, but like a step forward at least. I know I wasn't the biggest fan of Dragon Ball Super Superhero being all CG, but the people and their hair look so much better than this. The Godzilla Earth Trilogy, Pacific Rim the Black, Ultraman CG series. I think the frame rate was also normal in Superhero. The art direction in Gamera Rebirth as a whole is a lot better than those other CG kaiju outings though. Backgrounds are very pretty, and the lighting is also really good. The attention to details, all the buildings are different shapes, colors, again, seems like a no-brainer, but these CG kaiju outings I feel like have had a lot of copy-paste buildings in the past. But then even beyond that, things are given like wood grain, reflections, other things that just make everything look better, but again are usually absent in this type of media, or at the very least not done as well. Monsters in the CG and art style are fine. Monsters may never really felt like they had a lot of weight to them, but they never seemed to float along backgrounds like moving vehicles and walking humans often did. Kid bully scenes, usually never fun to sit through, and here, it's also not. It's pretty awkward. Drama throughout the show is never too interesting, usually pretty normal anime stuff. There's a lot of tropes, I mean, some of them make sense. Why would you assume that this one giant monster isn't a threat like the others? Enemies become friends, power of friendship stuff. Hard-ass military generals with a bad relationship with their children. There's some tonal issues. One is pretty consistent for Gamera. Blood and kaiju on human violence, but there's also, like, at least in the dub, lots of curse words, which isn't bad on its own, but this show looks like a show for kids. Aside from those two aspects, it feels like a show for kids, which again, wouldn't be bad, just what we got, at least in the dub, seems to lack a consistent tone. Overall, very glad to see Gamera again. Not one of my favorite Gamera releases, but it's okay. I prefer it to the movies some of these kaijus originated from. Definitely worth a viewing though, especially because of what they managed to do on that final episode. Are you planning to check out Gamera Rebirth? If you have, what did you think of it? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.